Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to day 3 of our COVID, the Mason Impact course that we're holding this summer. We are thrilled to see you all back again and seeing all the students coming online. We've had an exciting week already, and I am looking forward to hearing from more of our speakers. A couple of updates I wanted to give everybody. The first is, you'll notice, we talked about this earlier in the week. We get a lot of emails from y'all. We're compiling a frequently asked questions, and there's an FAQ box on the left-hand side where the green bar is on Blackboard, where we're putting a lot of your common questions. You're welcome to always check that before you email us, because you're much more likely to get a rapid response as a part of that. The next announcement I wanted to make sure that we talked about was all of the week's assignments are due tomorrow by midnight. Y'all have been fabulous. One of the things we've been saying is we want you to be able to complete each assignment within 24 hours after the presentation has ended. And many of y'all are doing it. There are hundreds of responses on the other 2 discussion boards. I wanted to remind you that when you do it, you always want to, before you do the prep material and see the talk, you also want to read the prompts before you look at the prep material and come to the talk, so you've got a good sense, and you can even start sketching out what you're going to write about when you're putting that together. We say within 24 hours, but we start grading it Friday at midnight. That's the due date, and there's no flexibility. So please don't email us to be able to say, hey, I'm not going to get it in. They are due Friday by midnight, and we will be starting to grade then. And remember that you have to get 2 satisfactory grades a week on your discussion prompts to be able to get credit for the course. So, and we are enjoying reading your discussion answers, responses already. The other thing I would say is, remember, you can have a discussion with each other. We don't have to, we're not grading your responses to each other, but even in the Q&As, I've been seeing some good discussions. So feel free to have a conversation. Remember, respectful, thoughtful, creative. We appreciate all of that. So don't feel like once you've posted it, other people have interesting things to say too. So feel free to start a conversation. The final thing I would say to be able to set us up for today is a reminder of how we're doing questions. At the bottom of your screen, you'll see there are a couple of boxes. One is a chat box. I see some of y'all are already in it. That's the place where if you want to ask the TAs or I questions about the structure of the class, use that box to be able to do that. But also pay attention to the speakers. I saw a lot of chatter going on there, and I know if you're in there when the speaker's talking, it means you're not actually listening to the speaker. So please do use that space to be able to ask us questions, but also be thoughtful about listening. The other thing I would say is remember that the Q&A box is specifically for questions about the topic of the day. And y'all did a really good job last time of being able to separate those out. So I'll remind you now to make sure you're separating those 2 things out. The speaker can see those questions, and you can see each other's questions. And the voting up option is really important. So as you type in a question, make sure that you are that you type it in, send it, and that you're also looking that are on a similar topic, so that more people's overall topics are being addressed. And I will also make sure that I am pointing out questions that are specific to the speaker's actual area of expertise. So if there's some things in there, although of course a cute dog is always an important thing to be able to ask about, I am trying to make sure that when I know there are questions that are directly going to be helpful to be answered by the faculty member, then we get those questions answered first. So also, you don't have to wait to the end to be able to put questions in. Go ahead and put questions in as you go. But a reminder, because I see a couple questions in there that are about the course, make sure that the course questions go in the chats, and the Q&A is limited to questions that have to do with the topic of the day. All right, and with that, I am really excited. These have been great talks so far, and today we get even more to be able to help consider, especially the social and economic impacts of COVID-19. Our speaker today is Tyler Cowen. He's professor of economics. And when he and I were setting up for this, he said, well, I'm going to talk about the speed premium. And being an anthropologist, who works in the past, the idea of the speed premium was a new idea. I said, what do you mean? And he said, so what's the value of things moving faster when there's, a pandemic going on? Like, what's the value in moving faster? And it made me look at almost everything, including how rapidly we set up this class, in a different way once I started reading his materials and thinking about it from that perspective. So with that, Dr. Cohen, I'm going to turn it over to you and let you have a while to talk, and then we'll open it up for questions afterwards.
Thank you for the kind introduction, Bethany, and thank you all for taking this class and coming to listen. As was mentioned, I'm a professor at George Mason. I also was an undergraduate at George Mason way back when, so I'm familiar with the positions you're all in. Can you all hear me okay? How is volume? Volume okay? Okay. In the pandemic, the early stages, it was estimated that the number of cases in some parts of the country were doubling every 5 to 7 days. Let's try this. How is volume now? Better? During the pandemic,
Even better.
It was estimated that cases were doubling every 5 to 7 days. Recently, there was a study done. It estimated that if we had locked down some parts of the country more quickly, for instance, the Northeast, our total number of casualties might have been half of what we had experienced. In other words, if we could have been 2 weeks quicker, we possibly could have saved tens of thousands of lives, many jobs, hundreds of billions of dollars in economic value, simply by acting 2 weeks faster. So this whole year, even before the pandemic, I have been studying this notion of the speed premium. And I will talk about it more generally, but when the pandemic came, it seemed obvious to me that the speed premium was much higher than it had ever been in my entire lifetime. That is, the value of acting sooner rather than later was at an unprecedented level. You still see this in states such as Arizona, Texas, Florida, where they are seeing a resurgence of COVID cases. They are starting partial lockdowns to limit the number of cases. But again, if you think of COVID-19 as having this power of exponential growth, that it can double and double again, and then double again very quickly, if you're going to do some kind of lockdown or partial lockdown, again, the value to moving fast, it's not only remarkably high, but it's higher than our institutions are used to dealing with. And that, I think, is a critical point for understanding America's response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, I'll get back to COVID-19, but let me just give some broad historical context here. If you look at American history in the post-World War II era, I think at least for a while, although our country had many injustices and many problems, one thing we were good at was getting certain things done quickly. So during World War II, well, the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor and devastated quite a bit of our Pacific forces, and that was in December 1941. America almost lost the war in the Pacific. But by the next summer, by the middle of 1942, is the Battle of Midway, and America had so much built up its Navy, Air Force, that it was able to defeat the Japanese in a decisive battle. That was really just 7 months later. Also during the war, of course, there was a sense of emergency. We built the atomic bomb in a small number of years. After the war, if we go to the 1960s, in 1962, I believe, President Kennedy announces the creation of a new space program that is going to put a man on the moon. literally only 7 years later, the United States has put a man on the moon. We did it safely. We got all 3 astronauts back home. And furthermore, part of the miracle is that we did it with computer systems so primitive. All those computers put together were not as good as just having one iPhone, not close to it. So America had lower levels of bureaucracy, and at least in some key areas, when it felt a sense of emergency, it had a higher level of speed. Putting a man on the moon in 7 years was really an astonishing achievement. But as time passes, you start to see a decay in America's ability to get things done quickly. Let me give you one example. There's, of course, a New York City subway, and for a long time, people in New York have wanted to build an additional branch of the subway. It is now called the Second Avenue line. It is one small subway branch. It runs down the eastern side of Manhattan, basically along Second Avenue. It's why they call it the Second Avenue line. The Second Avenue line opened for the first time less than 2 years ago. A small subway line, no complicated branching, just one line. The initial plans for the Second Avenue line date from the 1970s. In terms of actual construction, the Second Avenue line took decades. And if you look at the entire planning process, the Second Avenue line basically took almost 50 years. Keep in mind, this is the same New York City that at a lower level of technology, early in the 20th century, built out a whole subway system in less than 5 years. And then to build on one additional line, the whole process takes almost 50 years. That, to me, seems like an insane slowing down of the planning process, the construction process. And my view is we would be better off as a society if we could do a number of things much more quickly. Now, you might be wondering, why has change, why has progress, why has building so much slowed down? I think there are a number of reasons. Some of them, in my opinion, are good reasons. So I think now we have more environmental review to make sure a new project, for instance, does not pollute the air too much. In my opinion, that's highly beneficial. That is a check and balance that should be present. But I think what we have done for new projects is we have multiplied so many veto points. There are so many layers of review. We have city, county, state, federal governments that have to approve funding, that have to do their own reviews, that may have union contracts that limit how things can be done. And when you add up together all of these processes, it's simply the case that many changes, many acts of construction, they're just much, much slower than they had been compared to an earlier America. So again, the speed premium is this key idea that sometimes it's very valuable to get things done fast. One reason I think the speed premium has slowed down, why construction has slowed down, is simply America has been such a normal place for so many years. Daily life, other than computers, has really not seen radical changes for a long time. So if I think of myself, I'm now 58 years old. So I started George Mason University in 1980. That is 40 years ago, and I was 18 years old when I came here. It's a reasonable amount of time ago. In 1980, or for that matter, in 1970, which I remember quite well, if I entered a room and I looked around, and if I enter a room today, other than computers, I see basically the same set of things. Computers are the big change. But most of the room is more or less the same. Music streaming has replaced compact discs and earlier long playing records, but it's still music in the room. Not many changes. If I think of my grandmother, the first 50 years of her life, so she was born in 1905, the first 50 years of her life, everything changed. When she was born, there were no cars to speak of. People did not fly in planes. There was no radio. I think about 6% of Americans finished high school, much less college. So many homes did not have electricity, did not have running water. By the time my grandmother is 50, or in 1955, you can watch TV shows from that era. Much of America looks pretty modern. The talk is of having a car in every garage, a chicken in every pot. Virtually all homes have electricity and running water. There's TV, there's radio, there's airplanes. It resembles the world we live in now, again, with computers being a difference. So this earlier period, 50 years, there's so much change. The last 50 years of my life, there actually has not been a nearly equivalent amount of change. So our institutions have evolved to be very stable, fairly reliable, fairly predictable, fairly bureaucratized. They mostly have done a pretty good job making America quite a nice country, quite a nice place to live in, as most of you enjoy right now. But those same institutions did not have to fight a major war for existence. They were not geared toward putting a man on the moon in 7 years. New York City already had its subway. If it took 50 years to get another line, well, in the meantime, people could take taxis, they could take their bicycles, but we were more or less content to be very slow. Now, back to the present day. COVID-19 comes along. America has not experienced a major pandemic in a long time. There were partial pandemics in 1968, 1957. We actually beat them back fairly quickly and fairly well. But most people in America now have no historical memory of any pandemic. They do not emotionally understand or internalize how quickly a pandemic moves. Again, in the early stages of the pandemic, think of the number of cases of doubling every 5 to 7 days. And we went from a world where, say, in January, even February, everything seemed completely normal. In February, I took a trip to Lubbock, Texas. I visited Texas Tech. I gave talks there. I was indoors. I went to restaurants. I was in airports. It was as I've done for my entire adult life. But still, I knew from reading about China, a pandemic was coming. And I said to my friends, like, this is the last handshake I will be doing for a long time. Let me shake your hand. It may be the last handshake I do ever. And then very quickly it started. And within what was really just a matter of weeks, our entire country was turned upside down because the pandemic, COVID-19, just moved much more quickly than any of our response institutions. So if you look, when was it really first known that there was a danger of coronavirus coming from China? In very late December, early January, people in Taiwan knew. They closed off their country, they distributed masks, they took stringent public health measures. Today, how many cases of COVID-19 are there in Taiwan? 0. How many deaths in a week are there from COVID-19 in Taiwan? 0. So the countries that responded quickly mostly sidestepped the problem. Vietnam also responded quickly. As far as we know, maybe the numbers are imperfect, but they have had 0 deaths. The high, mighty, rich United States has had at least 130,000 deaths, when Taiwan, New Zealand, Vietnam have had very, very few deaths. And we might think, oh, we have better technology, we're smarter, we're richer, we have better schools, whatever. May or may not be true, but when it comes to speed of response, we are right now one of the worst countries in the world, and we are suffering for that with a Great Depression and at least 130,000 Americans dead. So all of January, all of February, what did America do to prepare for the coronavirus? Essentially nothing, literally nothing at the governmental level. One of the earliest movers actually was the NBA, the basketball league. I think it was March 11th. The NBA was very far-seeing. They just said, we need to cancel our entire season. It was very heroic of them. No one else was really doing very much at that time. They saw what was coming. It didn't feel necessary, but if you understand the logic of rapid change, of exponential growth, with hindsight, it's now obvious the NBA did exactly the right thing. That was a kind of wake-up call. Now, just to be clear, I don't intend this as a political talk at all, but I don't think you can pin the full blame on any particular party or any particular point of view or any particular branch of government. In my view, all of our government, or close to all of our government, pretty much has failed here. So you have a presidency, obviously a Republican president, who did nothing for months. You have New York State, which was the center in terms of number of deaths. There you had Democratic mayor, Democratic government, basically did nothing for a long period of time, even when people were dying in very large numbers. You can debate like who's been better, who's been worse, but I think it's important to view this as a systemic failure. And there are still many Americans, and I see this in Democratic parts of the country, in Republican parts of the country, simply not doing very much quickly enough to stop coronavirus from spreading. And that's because we are neglecting the speed premium. We don't have this intuitive sense of how important it is to act now before things seem to be really bad. Several weeks ago, on a weekend, I drove with my daughter to West Virginia. It was a very safe trip. We basically looked from the car, but we drove around West Virginia, and it was really very obvious to us that essentially no one in West Virginia was wearing a mask or taking protective measures. There were open bars with people in them. We saw this from a distance. Of course, we didn't go in. At that time, only a few weeks ago, West Virginia had a tiny number of deaths from COVID. Right now, it is estimated that COVID-19 in West Virginia is reproducing at a rate of 1.6. It's called the R factor. Every case gives rise to 1.6 additional cases. What does that mean? Well, it means that very quickly you end up with a state that will be overwhelmed by a high number of cases, rising number of deaths. Again, in West Virginia, it seems the state is fairly slow to react to this, what can only be called a crisis. Now, let me get to what I have been trying to do to fight against COVID-19. I'm an economist, as you know. I'm not in biomedicine. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical researcher. You might even say I'm not a scientist. Economics is as much an art as a science. But for quite a while, I have been studying this issue of speed of response and how important it is in non-medical contexts. And then the pandemic came along. So I was talking to one of my friends, Patrick Collison, who was in the tech sector, and he and I were talking about speed and how it related to COVID-19. And it seemed to us there was this great danger that on the biomedical research front, America would be responding too slowly. So someone I work with, I had this person call around and ask quite a few research scientists, well, when you need to do biomedical research to fight COVID-19, how long will it take you to get money? And these were well-known people at major top universities in the United States. not obscure researchers hidden away in some corner, but people already top in these fields. And the answer we received most frequently was 6 to 9 months to get money, whether it's from the government, whether from private foundations. Some people thought they could get money more quickly through their universities, but that was the most common answer, 6 to 9 months. And it seemed to me there was obviously a major problem that if you have an epidemic doubling every 5 to 7 days, and your top researchers need 6 to 9 months to get money, and in the meantime, they're not even sure the money will come, that in essence, our response to the coronavirus on the research side was going to be far, far too slow, and that many people would die as a result of that slowness. Our economy would be more damaged, there would be higher unemployment, many other problems, restricted immigration, restricted travel, uncertainty about universities being able to open. You're all living through this. We're talking on Zoom, right? Why aren't I there? We're on Zoom. So anyway, Patrick and I were talking about this, and we decided we would set up a project called Fast Grants. And I'm the director of Fast Grants, and I have a nonprofit research center at George Mason called Mercatus Center, which has been at George Mason for about 40 years. And it seemed that we needed a new program to actually try to speed up the rate of progress on biomedical research. So working with some people at Mercatus, with some outside volunteer assistance, in essence, Fast Grants was set up in about 10 days. So we had volunteers from Silicon Valley write the software for Fast Grants, which is very powerful, very effective software. Because of the nature of the crisis, we got really some amazing talent to kick in. We set up a refereeing process with 20 referees, all at top schools and research labs in the United States, and basically asked them, like, look, are you capable of doing refereeing for us essentially immediately? And then we went to a number of donors and asked them for money. And it really was a very simple pitch. It was, look, our country, the world right now is falling apart. The epidemic is doubling very rapidly. It appears a lot of top researchers cannot get additional money for 6 to 9 months. Will you help us? We have a process set up that, in essence, will get these researchers money right away. So we set up a portal, opened it up for people to apply. The application form was set up to be very easy to fill out. So you can apply in about half an hour. You can visit the site if you want. If you Google the term Fast Grants, you will see our site. And within a few days, we got over 4,000 applications, most of them quite serious. Very few were like jokey or obviously fraudulent. And then our team of referees hacked their way through these, and we managed to raise some money. And what we did is within about 2 weeks' time, we had made over $12 million in grants. And now that we've had over 2 months of the project, we've made over 130 grants, allocated a total, I've lost track of the total now. It is well over $20 million, and we have additional funds coming in. Within a few weeks more time, we expect we will have allocated about $45 million to COVID-19 researchers. And over this period of time, we don't have exact data from all other places, but it's quite possible that we have been the leading anti-COVID-19 research funder, actually in the entire country, possibly the entire world. And that was starting from scratch in early April. This project did not exist. It did not have a name, but we took this notion of speed seriously. And it was very surprising to me, actually, how much money we were able to raise for the project. So some of the people who donated to us, Elon Musk sent us $1 million. I've never had contact with Elon Musk. Just one day, a bank transfer came in. Elon Musk, $1 million. So I was like, gee, that's great. I never expected that anything like that would happen. I thought we would raise maybe $2 or $3 million, spend that right away, as fast grants would indicate. But in actuality, we've raised over $40 million in a very brief period of time. Jack Dorsey, the guy who runs and partly owns Twitter, he gave us $5 million. Mark Zuckerberg's Family Foundation gave us $1 million. The people who do TED Talks, they're connected to a nonprofit philanthropic arm. They made a very significant grant to us. Reid Hoffman, who founded LinkedIn and also PayPal, made a very significant grant to us. So once the thing was up and running, we really weren't asking for money anymore. People were giving it to us really pretty quickly. And this was a huge strain on the process. But the referees really rose to the occasion, had an altruistic motive for putting in so much work so quickly, also had a self-interested motive. They want to beat back COVID-19 as much as anyone. We all want to get back to life, right? So since April, the main thing I have done with my time is I sit on my sofa and I kind of handle different aspects of FAST grants and manage the team working on it and make sure it stays fast, handle the money coming in, oversee the process, oversee refereeing. And, I exercise a lot. I get up off my sofa, but I, in a way, don't do that many other things. Part of being fast is that you're super, super focused. And in setting up fast grants, the goal really was to focus on just two things. First, is this quality research that can make a difference? And the second is, is it fast? Is it in time? So we've been much faster than the National Science Foundation or the National Institutes of Health. And for me, it's been very rewarding to do fast grants. It's become my life. And we had some additional funds come in very, very recently. And we're reopening applications this coming Monday. And then everything will be crazy for a few days. The referees will do their work. I will oversee. And we'll make about, again, another $20 million plus in grants to biomedical researchers working to fight back COVID-19. And that's what fast grants is. The point of fast grants is to be fast. And I guess we have been fast. So to me, this is also an interesting way of thinking about the academy. There's first this intellectual idea that I had already written about and worked on and studied. And then I've been able to turn that into a concrete project that has done things and brought some money into the university. My co-founder of the thing, or co-creator, however you want to call it, Patrick Collison, he is from the private sector, brilliant, brilliant man. And the reading you had on, speed in history, that's from Patrick Collison's webpage. He had been thinking along the same lines, and it was my chats with him that led to the hey, why don't we just do something that's really fast? Because COVID-19 is so fast, we don't have institutions right now that are fast enough to beat COVID-19. And that's really the genesis of the thing. So for me, it's been somewhat overwhelming, and it's very fun, but I'm also looking forward to the time when my normal life resumes, or actually it's not a normal life until COVID-19 is being beat back. But I've gotten involved in a number of other anti-COVID-19 projects at the same time. So I've been helping to fund people who are doing pro-mask campaigns, helping to fund people who are doing testing. There's a company that got started, again, just this spring. It's called Curative. They had no money, a staff of 3. It was a vision in someone's mind. We were their first funders. We gave them money, didn't ask for any equity or anything in return. It was just an outright grant of money. and they are now responsible for 6% of America's overall testing capacity, which is really a lot for one company. So all these different areas like research, masks, testing, contact tracing, we're still just far, far too slow. The speed premium, the value of speed has never been higher. And we as a nation have never failed more at being fast. And this to me is very distressing. It suggests something has gone wrong badly with the American experiment. And it's not that I think everything should be fast, but we as a country should be capable of being fast when we need to be fast. And I have seen both the public sector, the private sector, both political parties, most major politicians, most institutions being really just far too slow. Some of the heroes, NBA, huge hero, they reacted fast and decisively and lost many millions of dollars doing so. Huge credit to them. But another hero I would like to point out is most of our nation's colleges and universities, and I include George Mason, I would say especially George Mason, they actually responded pretty well. There was a situation where the pandemic was getting especially bad right before spring break, so we had this kind of extra week to prepare. And when school reopened, it was clear we couldn't just all congregate as we had been doing. That would be too dangerous. And basically all, as you know, all of the instructional materials were shifted online, classes brought to Zoom or to Skype or to WebEx or other ways of communicating. And, you know, for the most part, this university got through that ordeal relatively well, not perfectly. But if you're just ranking American institutions, I think George Mason in particular did pretty well at a time when most did miserably. We were too late getting started, but when the time came, I'd say we had 2.5 weeks to work miracles, and most of it came off. And look, I've been at this school a long time. I don't mean this in a complainy kind of way, but every school is a bureaucracy. We're not any different. We're probably no worse than average. I don't know if we're any better than average. Hard for me to say, but every school is a bureaucracy. We're a bureaucracy. It probably can't be any different. And you might wonder, if a bureaucracy has to move quickly, how is it going to do? Well, our native local bureaucracy, which this class is a part of, I just like to say it did pretty well. I've been studying response times of a lot of other institutions and US colleges and universities. I'd give them a pretty good grade, like 8.5 on a scale of 1 to 10. And a lot of our institutions, you give like a 1 or a 2 on a scale of 1 to 10. So I'm about out of time for my core presentation, but that's like what I've been doing. It's why I've been doing it. And the school has just been great in supporting me and making this able to happen. And I would just say to you all, please never for the rest of your lives forget the speed premium. There are some things we need to learn how to do more quickly. Now is one of those times. I hope in the future you can all contribute to this idea. And Bethany, thank you for having me here.